Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Deal Talk with the Commercial Loan Brokers Association. And I'm really excited today. I've got a very good friend of mine who we've become great friends over the last couple of years, Chris Peebles. Chris is the owner of K2 Capital. And he's also, Chris, you were one of my mentorees when we did the Commercial Broker Playbook back a couple of years ago, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to sing one more of your praises before we get it started. You know, we had the Commercial Loan Brokers Association convention this past year, and you were the inaugural winner of the Rising Star Award for the Commercial Loan Brokers Association. So we're really excited to have you with us today.
Well, I appreciate it.
So good deal. Why don't you describe to us how you found the industry and how you got in it? Because I know you were a very successful small business owner for many, many years. And then you had an opportunity, you took the opportunity. Why don't you tell some of our listeners about that?
Sure. So I spent most of my career as a technology entrepreneur, built a business for 20 plus years and ultimately sold it to a private equity firm 4 years ago. Did a 3-year transition, obligation, I should say.
Right.
And, really was just looking for my next step in my career. I came across, commercial loan brokering, and it made a lot of sense to me. I know real estate, I know finance, I know business, and helping others get to where they ultimately want to be. It just lined up.
Yeah. So I know it's been a couple of years since, we were involved together in the mentoring program, but how did you find us in that program? How did you and I get into contact?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I went through a training school, a week-long training school, and it's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. And after getting out, I was ready, I was excited, and wasn't too long after that I realized that I really needed some ongoing support. And so just with a kind of a simple Google search, I saw some of your videos out there, some of your content. I saw you talk about, 3 people that stuck out in my head: a business coach that you had, your key hire, Micah, is your underwriter, and I think you even touched on one time about a lender who was kind of served as somewhat of a mentor towards you.
Right. Yeah.
To me, it just made a lot of sense that if you're going to be successful at this, you need to have somebody that you can kind of lean into when you get stuck, because it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to get stuck at some point. And somebody who's been around the block a little bit and can give you some guidance is invaluable.
Yeah, I think it's important. What you said there is, you said at some point, no matter how good you are, you're going to get stuck. And that happened to me last week.
Yeah.
I've been in the business for 12 years. We have the Commercial Loan Brokers Association. We now have the Commercial Loan Broker Academy, and I got stuck on a deal. And so I picked up the phone and I called what a lot of former graduates and things do, that I think they went to the same school that you and I did. And I called Scotty DeBerdinis and I said, "Hey, Scotty, I'm stuck on this deal." And he gave me a name of a guy to call, and we've been working through that deal this morning. As a matter of fact, just before we got on this, I was working through that. So no matter how talented you are or how good you are, it's always great to have people that you can tap into. You were mentioning that I said one lender that really mentored me. That was Mike Sneeden with Value Express. And I spoke with Mike last week. He's been retired for about 3 or 4 years now. And it was great just to catch up with him, and see how he's doing. And he's, really enjoying retirement. And so that was pretty exciting. One of the goals that I have, Chris, is this. I truly have a desire, and our team has a desire to uplift our industry, and to make the commercial loan brokering industry, more reputable, with morals and things that we all, standard operating procedures that we all do. And so I think that's important. The school that both of us attended, and I don't know if you knew this or not when you attended, but it had a 95% failure rate. And the goal that I have is to take our industry and flip that. And so that's why I wanted to visit with you. I wanted to talk about, the things that we're trying to do in our school, because we have the Commercial Loan Broker Academy starting its first training program the 17th of March. And it's for a week. It's going to be a lot of training like you and I went through. Hopefully it's not, drinking from that fire hose, right? So that, we can really try to support each other and working through some real world deals and things. But how do you think having the support group where, and I know you feel this way, I know you feel like you could call us at any time and we'd be glad to work with you. How do you feel like that helps you?
Oh, absolutely. So, again, I've run a business for 20 years. I kind of thought this was going to be a slam dunk. And, I found that my acumen was more in a broader business perspective. And so getting to know the nuances of deals and what a lender has an appetite for is critical. And, I found that over the course of a year, talking to lenders, understanding their programs, talking to you, and having a school that's going to support you with the underwriting is huge. I really wish I had a place that I could send some deals that I probably hung on to way too long. They felt like they were good deals, and I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a huge time saver.
Yeah, I think that's when I look back on and how I got started in this industry, and you have a very deep business background, and I had a very deep business background, including in financing and all, just like you did as a small business owner. And I think that's one of the areas that, I struggled with, is what you just said, is when to know when to cut a deal loose, and I think that's key, because you can waste your time. I'll never forget a deal that I spent a year on and spent all kinds of money on, and I never had any chance of getting that deal funded, because I had a borrower who just, when it got down to it, wasn't going to, do the things that they needed to do to get the funding that they needed. And so I think that's a big help, is to have good counsel that says, hey, we've all looked at this deal. It's not a deal right now. Maybe later it could be a deal, or here's how it could be a deal, but right now it's not a deal, because you're a lot like me and you want to help people. I know that about you. And so you want to keep hanging on and fighting until there's nothing left to fight for. So that is a tough thing to know. And the other big thing for me, and I don't know how you feel, I know you finished up your first year, in the industry now, and I want to talk about that. But I think the big thing for me was burning the candle at both ends, finding clients, finding lenders to fund those clients' deals, and then, like you said, learning to package those deals for those specific lenders, because every lender's different. What did you find out about that in the first year, in business?
Yeah. So, I was very fortunate in that I had some banking friends kind of refer some deals to me that were good deals that I was able to get funded and kind of get out of the gates quickly.
Right.
But after that, it was, I kept repeating to myself, trust the process, trust the process.
Yeah.
Go out, talk with people, tell them what you want to do, tell them how you can help them and get it done. You can't control ultimately when the deals are coming to you, when the good deals are coming to you. You just got to keep plugging away at it. And so, the first year I found that, again, just got to trust the process. Go out and talk to as many referral sources as you can. Talk to your clients. Understand what you can and can't do, and have a resource to go to when you have those questions.
Yeah. So, I don't want to keep you very long. I know that you've got a lot going on, and I understand from talking with you, you just got back from vacation with your daughters. So that's pretty cool that,
Yeah,
as they get older, it's harder to round them all up, isn't it?
absolutely. Got two in college right now, one in high school. So that time is precious when we get away.
It is. It is. But I did want to ask you this, though. What advice would you give someone who was seeking, to become a commercial loan broker, or just starting out in this field right now? What advice would you give them?
I'd say you definitely want to make sure that you're committed, all in. I think your lenders sense it, your clients sense it when you're really trying to get in and help folks. So make sure that you're absolutely committed into it and not tiptoeing into it. And surround yourself with the right people. The clients that will work with you, the lenders that understand what you're trying to do, and the support system. And so if you work hard, stay committed, and surround yourself with the right people, and I don't see how you can't be successful.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on, we've all started, and I know that I'm one of the founders of the Commercial Loan Brokers Association. But what are your thoughts about new brokers becoming a part of an association? Do you think it's something that, is needed for them, or do you think it can assist them and help them?
Absolutely. One of the things that I also found was, I would have brokers throughout the country reach out, and
Yeah.
it was clear to me they had no formal training and didn't really know what they were doing. And I can see how, from a lender's perspective, it's a big time waste. And so having somebody or organization that can certify and say, these brokers actually know what they're doing. They know how to package deals. They know what works and what doesn't, is
Right.
huge. And to be able to go in with that badge, so to speak, of saying, "Hey, I'm part of this association and I've been certified," and I think it would go a long way, both for the lenders and for the clients.
Yeah, I think the thing that excites me every year about the convention is, seeing some lenders that we might have gotten away from. Maybe we hadn't done a deal with them in the past year or so, but getting to catch up with those lenders and, see what's going on. And also some of the other brokers, that around the country that I'll, I'll talk to every now and then or occasionally, but to meet them in person and to put a face with that name, I just think the camaraderie and the fellowship that you can get from the association, I think that's what's really important and really exciting, for me. And I know this year coming up, we've got some really neat stuff. I don't think we've announced who the speaker is, but between me and you, it's Joe Theismann. So we're pretty excited to get him to come and speak. He's not only was a great football player, but he's also been a great entrepreneur, and understands what we go through as small business owners every day. And then we're having a focus on the women in our industry this year, and I'm really, really excited about that. We're having a special luncheon for the women in the commercial arena, the commercial lending and commercial loan broker arena. So we're really excited about that. And there's a panel of very successful people in our industry that are going to be, speaking and taking questions from, the women in our association. So we're really, really excited about that and looking forward to that. Um, I think the thing that I would like to add and just get your take on maybe is, and I know that you've made yourself available, to us for this, but what do you think about mentoring someone yourself? Have you ever thought about that?
I would absolutely love it. Somebody that was committed to it, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing that you have to look for, Chris, is that there were some people that reached out to me and wanted me to mentor them, and then I agreed to do that. And then, their timing got to where it didn't seem like it was important and as focused as it was with you, and so I think that's what you have to make sure, that it is someone that's committed to wanting to be mentored, before you, because it takes time, right?
Right.
But the thing I found out about it, and I think you will too, is that it's also refreshing, to talk with someone who, like yourself, you were fired up, you're excited about the business, and going to conquer everything, and you've had an unbelievable first year. So, I'm very proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished. So, you
Appreciate it.
keep it going. Last thoughts. What would you say to anyone, whether they're currently a commercial loan broker or you're just thinking about getting in the business? What would be your advice to them for 2025?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's a wonderful industry. It truly is. It sounds cliche, but going out and helping people get to where they need to be. I mean, it truly is rewarding. My past industry and my past life, I didn't have that personal interaction like I do now, and so it's a total game changer for me. I get excited about what I'm doing every day, and yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah, I'll never forget the one client that they're still very dear friends of mine, is Edward and Karen Hyde, and I'll never forget when we handed them the check to put equity back in their business, and because they had too much equity in their real estate, and we were able to accomplish that, and just the excitement that they had, and then even building on that, the very next year was the biggest year to date they had in their industry. And they made more money than they'd ever made before. So I feel like we were a part of that, and we've stayed friends today. I mean, 10 years, a decade later, we still, I was talking to him last week. So it's very interesting to watch small business owners grow if you truly have a passion for helping people more than just making the money. Making the money's great, and we got to get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But helping people is what we really do. So, any closing thoughts before we go?
Do not. Again, I'm excited to be part of this organization. I'm excited about. Unfortunately, I couldn't come last year due to death of the family, but I'm excited about seeing everybody in October.
Yeah, and I noticed that I saw that you're already on the list where you've already bought your ticket, you've already paid. So
yeah,
really appreciate that. So lastly, I want to close out with this. Our first Commercial Loan Broker Academy class is the 17th of March. So it begins 2 Mondays from today. And you can check us out at tclba.com. Again, that's tclba.com. We got classes in March and in May. And I think then we're in July and September. I think those are the 4 months that we have the classes this year. So this has been Deal Talk with Chris Peebles, and he is the 2024 CLBA recipient of the Rising Star Award. He's also the owner of K2 Capital. Chris, it's been a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. This is Deal Talk with Terry Luker.